imagine this, right? Imagine running a dungeon and then being happy with the loot you got. It's shocking. Hey all, it's Nim, or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now we're going to dispense with an introduction, as there's a lot of YouTube content being made, and that means you have a lot to watch, and you're locked down in your house. So without further ado, Legacy loot coming to Legion instances from Kaivax, a World of Warcraft community manager. With the scheduled weekly maintenance of the week of March 31st, we're enabling Legacy loot rules in Legion raids and dungeons. Yay! Finally, great. It's been a while. I think you'd have gotten it earlier, but hey, whatever. Anyway, we've reached that point in the expansion where the content from previous expansion no longer requires a full group, and the rewards are primarily sought by transmog collectors and those trying to make a little gold. I know that's not in there, but I feel like that's important. With this change, Legion raid and dungeon encounters will drop a fixed quantity of class-agnostic loot, meaning it doesn't matter what class you are, it'll drop a certain amount of items. Today, if you and one other player enter Emerald Nightmare on Mythic difficulty and kill Nythendra, it's unlikely you'll receive any loot since the drop rates normally scale to the number of players. After this change, Nythendra will always drop 5 items from her loot table, regardless of group size. Dungeons and many of the lower difficulty raid bosses in Legion are already soloable by well-equipped Battle for Azeroth characters, though some bosses, especially on Mythic difficulty, may still require you to bring a few friends. Nonetheless, this should amount to a great increase in the availability of Legion transmog gear. Alright, so that's the news. I think it's a good change, personally. I'm glad it should have happened earlier. I think it should have happened at the start of 8.2, because by then, no matter what you're doing, you could take 5 players and nuke down almost any boss. I personally think it should happen at the start of the original instance, so meaning when Battle for Azeroth starts, bam, you get Legacy rules. Or if we want to be really, really extreme to the max also, what if we just have Legacy loot rules for everything, right? Some people say, oh, Nim, but what about ninja looting? What about, people have, we had this system for years and people exploited it. Yeah, people exploit rules. That happens, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have them. Because, again, I used to run with a guild that did a loot council, right? And we would have a table saying, okay, this, if X item drops, it's a 30% upgrade for this player. It's a 40% upgrade for this player. It's a 50% upgrade for this player. Something like that. And it worked out really well. And we, as adults, as game players, came together and got what we needed done. Sometimes you got loot, sometimes you didn't. But it's just like now. Except with personal loot, I can't trade stuff if it happens to be awesome. If it's higher, as opposed to letting a Master Looter handle this. Why not just go back and have Master Looter? Why not just have Master Looter? Because if you give deterministic loot rewards, then players can get off the treadmill. And you want players on the treadmill. It's an MMORPG, and you measure things by monthly active users and KPIs and things like that. So here's my take for this. I think it's a good change. I hope that the changes going forward happen more and more and more. Because imagine this, right? Imagine running a dungeon and then being happy with the loot you got. It's shocking. Anyways, guys, tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think that this is a good change, a bad change, any type of, middle ground? I'm sure there's a middle ground somewhere. This is the internet, and the second I declare that there isn't something, it will magically appear. Also, as a small side note, for those who don't know, I stream on Twitch. That's Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday and Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a mix of MMORPGs, action games, philosophy, and politics. My name was Nim. This was a YouTube video. Keep gaming and enjoy life. Bye.